Hey, I'm Tyler, and this is the Bikerumor Friday Yard Sale, where we spill our thoughts on the week's tech and happenings in the cycling world, and all in the time it takes to drink a pint of delicious beer. And with me, as always, is Watts Dixon.
As always.
Always, except next week. You won't be here next week because I'll be somewhere else, and I'm going to find somebody else to co-host, unless you want to do it on your own.
Oh yeah, I do that. Me and Ben could do it.
Yeah. We'll discuss. So it's either going to be me and some people in Italy, or Watts and Ben. Maybe both. We could do two.
Vote.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. Who do you want to see? I'm going to lose. I'll tell you right now.
Doubt that.
All right.
It's funny, actually, because yesterday someone was in the shop just kind of hanging out, and he's like, I know you from somewhere. You look real familiar. And I was like, I don't know. I get around. He's like, you're the guy from that yard sale video. And I was like, you fucking watched that thing? And he's like, yeah, I love it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go. Good job, Watts. I like what you're doing here. Alright, what are we drinking today?
I have a standard farmhouse from Prairie in Oklahoma. We were pretty stoked when they became available in North Carolina.
Prairie is the name of the brewery? So Prairie Brewing?
Yep, Prairie Brewing in Tulsa.
Cool.
Yeah, and you're drinking a Trogs Nugget Nectar, which is limited release. We're always stoked when that comes out and try to snatch up kegs of it.
I was going to say, you're stoked that you can get some if it's limited. Like,
well, it's limited in that it's...
They only make it for a certain amount of time?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were special.
I mean, we are. Especially special.
I had a funny story. It's not like drop dead hilarious, but I got a chuckle out of it because I was pulling out of my house to come here to do this, and this is earlier than we normally shoot. It's like 11:30, I think.
I still gotta
in the morning
exercise.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna work out later too after a beer, but as I'm pulling out, I live downtown, so there's a lot of people walking around, and there was a guy who may or may not have a home walking around with a brown bag of beer. He's just cracking it open, and I'm like, what kind of dude drinks at 11:15 in the morning? And then I remembered where I was coming.
Yeah, that's...
To come drink a beer at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's...
But it's Friday.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
that, I guess. Depends on, I don't know. Sure, good stuff.
Funny story.
Cool story, bro. Alright, so NAHBS is coming up 2 weekends, and we're going. So we're going to do, in 2 weeks, our Friday yard sale video may be in like multiple segments. We may do a couple of them, or we may just go around and interview a bunch of different people at NAHBS. So if there's a particular builder or person who is likely to be at the Handmade Bike Show that you want us to go interview, leave it in the comments on this video or next week's video, and we'll check it before we roll out. Watson and I will be there so we can tag team people or whatever. It'll be fun. But
do you read the comments?
On occasion.
Okay.
You know, if I'm expecting something. So, like in this case, since we're asking for it, I'll take it.
I have yet to read the comments for these videos. I think I commented once, but...
You didn't read it?
Actually, I did read... Last time there was a spam comment. It was just like, good, worthy content, and written content as well. Thanks, Amber.
Please buy lithium batteries from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, NAHBS, we've got our preview series going. We've had Appleman and I think Horsebrand, and today, right before this post, should be Adam Sklar, who is continuing to grow in popularity. He's doing some really cool stuff, and apparently this is one of the bigger pre-show interviews that he's done and that we're doing this year. So yeah, check those out. They're up. Probably about every other day we'll be posting.
I read Anna's Sklar interview. That was good.
Already?
Yeah.
Did you write it in drafts?
What's that?
Did you go through and make some changes?
No, it's in there.
I know. It's just not published yet. Well, it might be now.
It's published.
Oh, it is? Okay,
yeah. Good. Take 2.
So you notice anything different? Our beers have swapped, and they're magically full again.
Mm-hmm.
So, technical difficulties again. The memory card was magically full because Watson and I were filming some other stuff earlier this week, and even though I've already offloaded it, it was still on the camera. So after 4 minutes of...
Aren't you like a tech guy?
How you would think so. I should be by this point.
I'm still supposed to do intervals. I'm having 2 beers right before doing intervals? Alright.
Just sweat it out. Alright, whatever. This take 2. So we've already talked about everything we're going to talk about and had a full beer.
And there was a ton of really hilarious commentary.
Alright, let's get through it. So, tech stuff this week. Lasco,
I'm going to zone out.
which is
Yeah.
a brand that I hadn't really heard of until Zach posted this. But if you still have a 10-speed freehub body on your wheels, like say you've got a really good set of wheels from like 3-4 years ago before everything started to go to 11-speed, and you want to put an 11-speed cassette on that 10-speed freehub body, Lasco sells cassettes that are machined out so that it will fit on and kind of slide over that little nub of the hub shell and fit. So if you remember when everything came out, you know, going from a 10-speed freehub body to an 11-speed freehub body, there was like a 1.8 mil difference. It was like just a little bit longer. And so now everything comes with a spacer in case you're running a 10-speed cassette on an 11-speed freehub body. But if you want to go the other way, technically there's not room unless you make room. And so Lasco's done it. Check out that post because there's video, there's some pretty cool detail on how they do that. And the cool thing is it's not just cassettes that they're offering. They can take your cassette and machine it down in a way that will make your 11-speed cassette fit on your old 10-speed freehub body wheels. So,
Sounds great.
yeah, cool. Time. We had a good conversation
We
about
did have
time.
a good conversation about time.
So-
And I said that we used to be
A time dealer.
dealer for that back in the day, and then kind of that whole world of bikes fell off the European bike
European
kind of fell
brands.
off, yeah, the face of the buyer's market. Everyone wanted a fucking Cervelo. Yawn.
But Cervelo, they're a good marketing company, and they make good bikes. I don't want to call them just a marketing company because it kind of sells it short. Like they make some good bikes, and they really push the envelope on lightweight, and
They did.
especially
At that time,
about that
but that's-
time, they were the ones saying, "Look, like you want a sub 1,000 gram frame, you want a sub 900, sub 800 gram frame. Hey, we're the only game in town, right?"
So,
like,
yeah.
come
But at
on.
the same time, we were selling Calfee, like Calfee Dragonflies and stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
those bikes were crazy lightweight. And it was hard to see that kind of boutique side of stuff just seg into this sort of mass market
Yeah.
thing.
But
I like
Calfee was still. Calfee's always been boutique. You know,
Yeah,
it's not like
but-
Time. Time's not a boutique
All right,
brand.
fine.
Like in Europe, they're huge, right? I mean,
Whatever.
I guess.
I was talking about us. I wasn't talking about
Just talking about what you could sell. You're a boutique brand.
we are. We're a bitter, hard, difficult brand.
But entertaining. That's kind
we?
of the saving grace, right? Like it's got to balance out. If you were just bitter and hard and always angry, like nobody would come in here. But
Oh.
you have beer, you're entertaining. I mean, look at that personality, right?
Look at it just shining.
Right. Anyway, Time Sport, the Italian bike brand, came out with their lightest frame ever. It's called Alpe d'Huez. It's actually like in a partnership with the city or province or town or whatever of Alpe d'Huez, and which is a monster climb. I've done it, and it is long, lots and lots of switchbacks, but beautiful. And the area around it's beautiful. If you can ever get over there to ride, I highly recommend it. But at 840 grams for an unpainted small, so you're going to add weight by the time you're actually riding it. It is the lightest frame they've made, and they do make it all in-house with their woven carbon tubes. They're still like one of the only brands that actually makes all of their own carbon fiber tubes, like from the thread. They take the thread and weave it into their own tubes, then they inject the resin. Like there's no pre-preg going on there, at least not for their high-end stuff. But it's pretty cool. It's a neat process. It's a neat bike, and yeah, the lightest one they've made. Check it out. We got all the details. The price is crazy, 16 grand plus for a complete bike. Frame sets are like $5, which is actually like not the most expensive Italian frame sets I've seen. So Colnago is actually more expensive for their top end stuff, their C60. And what? You gonna say something?
I was just thinking about like how I'd like to see.
A $16,000 bike. Take 3, because yet again
Yeah.
ran
See?
out of memory on the card, so I had to delete a lot of stuff, kids, videos, things,
That
precious
sounds
memories
gross.
gone, so that we can
We're on a
record
watch
this
list now.
fantastic bit of film. Anyway,
We're
so yet
joined
again,
by
beer number 3.
Ben.
Hi. you'll recognize me from such other Bikerumor videos as Friday Roundup number 3.
Oh, is that the one? It was 3?
I think so. Or 4, whatever.
2, one of them.
Voted best Bikerumor Roundup video.
Voted least thumbs down video from Bikerumor. Just check my IMDb, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about some European brands, and we were going to talk a little bit about one that I guess is a European brand, because Iceland might be Europe. And so,
Ben?
Yes, they're Europe.
but they don't use. Are they part of the European Union? They don't use the euro, dollar.
I don't know.
So
no.
kind of, sort of quasi-Europe, Iceland.
Maybe
Our friends at Lauf sent Watts a birthday present, so I'm gonna let you describe it.
All right, do
I'll
the
give you
hot
the
Carl
concept.
first. Hot Carl.
The hot Carl.
Hot Carl. That would be fermented shark. Thanks, guys.
It looks delicious, right?
And then the other one is
Door
sour ram
door.
testicle.
Sour ram testicle.
Delicious.
Sour
Mwah.
ram testicle. Look, this is the best part, is that the package has expanded.
We should get rid of that
Since
now.
achieving it.
You're saying it's a swollen ball sack?
Oh, God. I'm out of here.
Love you guys at Lauf. So speaking of Lauf, I'm doing the beer delivery coming.
This is what. This is beer number 3.
Beer number
Was
3
it really?
for us.
In like an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his
Technical
fucking camera kept
difficulties.
fucking up. And I still have to go do intervals. It's going to be best workout ever.
Yep.
What else are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about Lauf guys a little bit. and how much we
Lauf
love
guys
them.
are my.
And if you
my
ever
favorites.
happen to see the Lauf guys at Sea Otter or Outer Bike or Eurobike or Interbike or something, definitely come say hi and then ask
All right,
them
thank
about
you. Bye, Ben. Get to work.
Icelandic liquor, because they've got some crazy shit like moss schnapps and something else that's like this peppermint awful stuff that they love to push on people.
Yeah,
And
it's
pretty
some gnarly
bad.
stuff. I was looking at tickets recently to Iceland because they're pretty cheap, and I started thinking about like, I'm gonna look those guys up.
This is
And
gonna be
I
so
started kind of being
fun.
like, oh shit, that might be a rough week.
Yeah.
Like
It's like good.
just
not
like
bad.
a little bit of danger in there.
A
Yeah.
little bit dangerous. Now, I'll show you so. I'm going to put a picture when you watch this video. It's going to be superimposed right now. This picture of something awful. Not awful. It's pretty funny. But this is what happens when you stay up with these guys drinking, because it's 4 in the morning in the summer and it's still light out. Like, it never gets dark. So you're like, it's not bedtime yet. And you just keep drinking until all of a sudden people are like naked and riding their bike in the middle of the street. And some
You said
fishing
awful.
town.
That sounds wonderful.
I'm back.
Did we get something new?
Yay!
Did you get something new?
Now we got, White Street Kolsch.
Yeah, I wanted
Got
that.
it.
I was enjoying that so much the other day that I wanted another.
So, Sweden, huh? Those guys, I tell you, forks. What are we
Rocks.
talking about?
Yeah, Fjorks.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're going to talk about dropper posts.
All right.
Chopper
I
posts.
totally missed that.
No, you
I'm
did
trying
all
to stay
right.
focused on
Yeah,
task
we're
here.
complimenting you.
Yeah.
Alright, dropper post. So if you read our suspension tech series, we cover all the different little ins and outs of suspension and setup and design and features and stuff.
Oh man.
Now, is this your, who's it?
It's Watts' girlfriend.
Oh, hey. Hey, Dorothy.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Yeah, an hour later, and we're still here.
Anyway, our suspension tech series last week and this week, it's kind of part of this mini series within about dropper posts, because there's a lot to dropper posts. And so last week was about how much travel will fit on your bike for your riding style, the type of bike you ride, and everything else. This week it was about how to make sure that the dropper post you want will actually fit in your bike, because there's a lot to consider. There's how much travel. So when you think about like the travel above when it's fully extended, you got to add to that like the clamp height, the collar height on the post, and how much else is sticking out above the frame, and then how much is going into the frame. And so you want to make sure that if you're ordering a 150 mil travel bike, that you've got enough room above your frame to fit that. And then also some of these longer travel posts typically are going on longer travel bikes, and you guys sell Konas, which make some really long travel bikes. some of the designs have the seat tubes have a really convoluted shape, and so these longer posts may not actually fit into the ones with either a bent seat tube or one that has like water bottle bosses and the screws coming into it, because it'll limit how much shafts can go down into the frame. So like
this is all true. I believe Kona this year, at least, I think we talked about this last time, is speccing the longest possible travel on all their bikes. But that's the kind of thing that they've done their due diligence and have looked into what actual, I mean, unless you're on a frame a little too
or super small frames. Like some of the smaller frame sizes are speccing shorter travel because that's just all they can get away with, right? So like what are they doing? Are they just like slanting the seat tube forward or just running a straight seat tube?
Just running it for a straight for as long as possible before they get to whatever bin they need.
So how much travel are they putting? Because some of the posts nowadays, you can get up to like 180 mil of travel.
Yeah.
Dropper posts, which is a lot. Like, I'm 6'2", and for me, 150 is plenty, and even then, I almost never drop it all the way down. But then again, I'm not riding like North Shore crazy shit all the time either. So
I don't have a dropper.
Have you ridden a dropper on a gravel bike?
I haven't. Okay. No, but I will be putting a dropper on the XC bike I'm building for the True Grit. But it's going to be short travel. It's going to be one of the KS carbon posts.
All right.
So
that's Dickie talk.
Shorter. Yeah.
By
the way, Dickie actually commented on one of these things.
I know.
Yeah.
He commented on my hair. That's why I'm wearing this hat. Fuck you, Dickie. Oh, you made me sad.
Yeah. All right. Next was first aid. So if you guys are mountain biking or riding in general, which everybody does, presumably if you're watching this, like what was surprising when we did our latest first aid kind of post was how easy it is to wreck your head, right? And so we're talking about like you've had a serious concussion, and
I've been woken up in the hospital before. Don't know what happened.
You've been woken up in the hospital before? Ben, wake up! You're in the hospital.
Oh Jesus! What? Oh, hello. Yes, this is the hospital.
So the point of the post was to kind of give you guys like some heads up on what to look for. So if you're riding with a friend and you wreck, or tell your friends to watch this too, because if you wreck, like you want to know what questions to ask and how to kind of assess your riding partner for a brain injury, head injury, anything, because it doesn't even have to be a really hard hit. So if you if you can't like answer some simple questions like what's your name, where are you, like, hey, why are we riding today, then there's a good chance something happened, and you had a really bad experience.
So I was out traveling in my van, and I was in Indiana, not Illinois, at Brown Cow, and I caught a handlebar on a tree, just fluke thing, ended up hitting the side of my head, and kind of came to like 20 seconds later, and knew my name, knew my son's name. Like I went through a kind of mental checklist, but then I was like, where am I? I have no idea where I am. And I was like, oh wait, I have a map. And I pulled up the map and I looked and I saw that I was in Indiana, and I started crying because I could not think of why the fuck I was in Indiana. I had no idea why I was there, and I made a panicked call to Dorothy. Just been like, why am I in Indiana? Yeah, and it took me forever to kind of like finally piece it together. And I was like, oh wait, I need to get back to my van. My van! Okay, that means I'm traveling. All right, well that kind of makes sense. But yeah, that fucked me up for about a year.
How did you know to run through that list, like those questions? Because I just imagine if I smacked my head hard enough, I'd be like, all right.
People came across me and were startled, and definitely when I made the call to Dorothy, she's like, I'm coming to get you. And I was like, don't do that. That's crazy.
Just stay right there. I'll be there in 2 days.
Yeah.
But that's good, though. Like, at least you need to do that. And that's the biggest thing.
But I was all by myself. Like, I had nobody. I just had to kind of...
Did you end up going to urgent care?
I did, and they were like, we don't actually treat concussions. And I was like, well, I guess I'm like... Yeah. No, I went to an urgent care place. They're like, we don't really have a protocol for this. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm fine. I'm going to go have a beer at this restaurant down the street, which
and then immediately take a nap.
Yeah.
Just don't fall asleep.
That's exactly what I did.
Right.
So.
Well, the point is, so if you find yourself out riding and you think you should know what to do if somebody smacks your head, check out the article we posted this week. It'll give you kind of like a few questions to ask either the person who's riding with you, or make sure your riding buddies know to ask those questions, because it doesn't take that hard of a hit. Useful. And your helmet may not even crack. Like, you may not notice, you may not think, oh, that's bad off, but It doesn't take much to wreck your brain.
No,
and the repercussions, like long term, can be pretty bad. Like,
long term, like I still feel like I had emotional problems for about a year after that.
Yeah, those are not related to your.
I was gonna say, like, you have emotional problems all the time.
No, but seriously, like,
they've since dissipated. Don't worry about it, guys.
Okay, not emotional, but like
right
when I would get irate, it would just become insane.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And you wrote a story about it.
I did. It's in Dirt Rag.
And we're gonna check it. If there's a link, if the story's online, we'll post a link to it. So hopefully Dirt Rag has their shit together and puts their stories online, because people read online now.
Print's not dead, man.
Not so much print. I mean, a little bit of print. Mainly in the bathroom, right? Like, when else do you read a magazine nowadays? You got a lot of magazines stacked in the bathroom here.
At the bar.
Yeah, but they're all in the bathroom. Or at the bar.
Yeah, and then they make their way to the bathroom, and then we just throw them away after they.
You recycle.
Bathroom. Yeah,
of course.
That's what I mean.
All right, what's last? Rolf tour. Zach went and visited Rolf Prima recently and wrote his the final piece of the tour. So he's done a few posts on this. They're all linked from the article, but the factory tour is really, really cool, and it shows how they make their rims, because they're making their own rims in the U.S. now. So they're extruding the shape, rolling them, pinning them, sleeving them, welding them, everything else that they do, and then it shows like how they make the wheel, and there's a lot in there. There's some good humor in there too, so especially for the people who like to comment about stuff.
Good.
You should check out this article for sure.
The Rolf guys
it's
rule.
super awesome.
They're pretty funny.
They're really good.
Hey, you should probably check that SD card to make sure that it's actually working.
Hey, we're still good.
All right.
I cleared enough crap out. All the memories
talking.
from my children are gone in lieu of Friday yard sale video. Now we're good. But yeah, the Rolf people are awesome. And what's...
Yeah, Watts loves his girlfriend.
Right, this is bullshit.
I was going to offer you another beer, Ben.
Well, this is already... We're on number 3 already.
I'm not. This is my first. But
I'm on, yeah.
All right. So Rolf Prima. So what was
Hi,
really
Matt,
interesting,
from Rolf.
if you're
Hi,
not super familiar with the brand, is that they've been doing the paired spoke thing, not necessarily as a brand, but licensing that technology to others, like Trek, and then Bontrager, or Bontrager and then Trek, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You know, they've been doing the paired spoke thing for a long, long time. So a lot of people look at this and think this is super weird, right? Like, oh, it's like 2 spokes. And you only have like 16 spokes on a wheel, but what happened? I mean, they've been doing it for 20 years, and with
and that was a cool
failures.
footnote, at least in like whatever you think about the paired spoke technology. That is a cool footnote in wheel technology. I mean, they put a lot of thought into that, like how the higher flange on the non-drive side and everything about how they do the wheels is actually pretty cool, regardless of what you think of it.
And if it didn't work, right, like, here's the thing. If it didn't work, it would have died out in a year or two, at best, you know? But if you can keep something going for 20 years, it means it does work. So then you got to overcome this mental roadblock of like, oh, that looks weird, I don't like it, you know? But I've ridden them, I don't know if you have, but you know, I rode a set of their XC Carbon Rayless, I think it was the Rayless XC. Cramping?
No, it's my legs asleep because we've been doing this for like an hour.
Yeah, I rode those in the TS Epic, which is Pennsylvania, like backcountry, super rocky, super gnarly course. You know, you're just banging the rims on everything. And this is a lightweight carbon XC rim, and it's got the paired spoke technology. And you know, this was years ago, and the wheels were perfect. You know, like after the whole thing was said and done, after a couple of flats, even just from shredding sidewalls on these rocks, the rims had like a couple scratches on them. Perfectly true. The wheels were fantastic, and I rode them for months and months after that before they made me return them. And it was one of those things where it's like, I liked it because they were super lightweight and they got the job done, you know? So for me, that's a win. So if you're like, well, this paired spoke thing doesn't look right, I'm not sure about it, like, it's worth a shot, you know, see if you can demo a set of wheels. But plus the people there are awesome, and they're making all that stuff in the US now.
Do they have their own factory now, or are they contracting out to some other?
No, they brought all the machinery in house. They've got their own place to manufacture the rims.
I think White Industries is still making their hubs.
The White Industries are definitely making the titanium freehub bodies. I'm not sure about the hub shells. I don't know who makes those, but yeah, they're at least rolling their own rims in the U.S. and it's definitely full assembly and everything in the U.S. So.
I don't know what we've talked about. I don't know.
All right, ready?
I do know that I just did that thing where you pee a little and then you zip up your pants and you pee a little more.
So, Barnstormers, come pee a little
How's
in your
recording
pants
that?
with us.
B-roll.
B-roll?
A-roll.
That's pure A right there.
I'm a little embarrassed.
Right. Is it A-roll?
So the last thing
A-hole?
for this week is the Barnstormer event that Defeat's putting on. Barnstormer.cc if you want to go check it out. Barnstormers with an S.cc. I just figured it out because I was getting so mad why the website wasn't coming up. But it's Barnstormers with an S.cc. Go check it out.
Actually.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Anyway, sorry.
Technicalities. Check it out because it's a huge.
It's gonna be great.
It is actually
this
gonna
first year is going to be
fucking be
great. So I just talked to Rob while you were taking a quick break to reset the camera and all that.
Well, I was
And
peeing in my
Rob at
pants by
Defeat
accident.
said that it's they're looking for about 100 people or so on Saturday. Sunday's kind of going to be a dealer event, so I guess it's also
Okay,
like a
so that's-
business thing for Defeat. But it's kind of first come first serve. Go register. It's 20. So here's the thing: $25. You get to go on a guided ride in some of the amazing gravel riding through the mountains and foothills of North Carolina.
Wilson Creek, it's the best.
And
Actually is.
and food and live music, which is awesome for $25. It's pretty good.
And the cool thing about this event that I've said 3 times already because the camera's gone is that it highlights this region's gravel riding, which I feel like goes unsung all the time. I mean, which is kind of cool. We kind of like it that way.
It's also in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina,
It's in the middle of nowhere,
which makes it tough.
It's Wilson
Yeah.
Creek.
Like we can't just go out and ride it
It's Wilson
from here and all that, but it is
No,
awesome.
we take day trips up there all the time.
All the time. I did probably 20 last year. Day trip.
20 miles?
Bike.
20 whole miles at Wilson Creek.
Yeah. And I've been going and I park in Blowing Rock and I ride down a mountain and ride all that shit back up, finish at a brewery. Like, it's a great day on the bike.
Perfect.
And again, it's super unsung compared to the Midwest circle jerk and compared to the California, just whatever the fuck.
Grinduro and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I love
you know,
Grinduro, but
the
that's like
branded
more of a
events.
part. I mean, like, the Southeast is very unsung with regards to all the riding it does.
Well, hopefully this will change it. You know, like
It does.
Defeat's been a
Hopefully
big
it does
advocate of
change.
this area, so they're pushing it. They're creating an event, right? Like this is
Yeah.
the Barnstormer instead of the Grinduro. We'll have the East Coast equivalent of a mega event
And
eventually.
I also love Defeat as a company. I love that this small sock company in Hickory, North Carolina makes all the custom socks for just fucking everybody.
Yeah, big.
And super cool guys, just super down to earth too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Cool story, Wes.
Wilson Creek.
Check it out. All right, and on that note, this is
This
beer
is
number
beer
3
number
for all
three.
of us.
I'm not finishing this. Did I already say that I have to?
What is this?
That's the,
Have a great weekend, everybody.
yeah. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
You were sick.
No, no. I'm really not.